Welcome, everyone, to race 19 of the Darkside Mustangs A-Square Cup Series season. We're here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's time for qualifying here at Atlanta. See if we can get a reset here of the timing board. There we go. Showtime here in Atlanta. And now we're watching Jeremy Breo as he goes on his lap. They are currently second fastest in qualifying so far. Patrick Allen, the only car that is currently already set a lap time. A lot of cars on track now, though. Breo on his second lap. See if he can improve and get provisional pole. What's it look like for Breo? Easy pole position, 31.84 provisionally at the moment. Take a look at Tom Sears as he starts his first lap. More times will jump up on the board here as everyone goes along. 28 cars currently set to do qualifying here at Atlanta. Right now it's Breo and Jimkowski, top of the board. Breo 31.84, Jimkowski 31.88. For Terry Gabbard, provisional pole, 31.75. Cody Pennell goes 31.80. Sears 31.91. Kerr 31.81. Times beginning to get better. Reynolds, Ray now top of the board. Gabbard in second. Brenton Roberts knocks Gabbard off the front row. Roberts now provisional pole. Second lap for Sears. Is it better? He is sitting down in 12th place here. Does not use the apron. Only goes 7th fastest. Estes on his first lap now. It's Roberts, Ray, Belleville, Gabbard top 4, front row locked themselves into the main event. The Atlanta 200 later tonight. There'll be heat races and then a consolation race, a last chance qualifier in this race. Estes on his second lap. What's it going to be? 25th at the moment. Jumps up to 6th. Blanchett finishing his first lap to 85. Goes 26 fastest. So slow first laps tends to be the way to go. We'll see how much they take on the infield here, the apron on the front straightaway here. Comes off the bottom. Letting it sort of just travel through the backstretch. Back to the bottom here. A lot of the apron being used there for Blankenship. Where does it put him? P4. Puts him in 4th place. Patterson up to 27th in that number 27 car. See what his second lap does. He's the last person to set a lap time here. All 28 cars have set at least one lap. He's on his last one. How does it look for Patterson? Not using much of the apron there. Only goes 19th. But all 28 cars have set a qualifying lap time. It'll be Joshua Gaiman and Bren Roberts locking themselves in directly from qualifying. Everyone else will have to do at least one heat race to figure out where they will start the main event. First race on the reconfiguration of Atlanta Motor Speedway. From intermediate to super short super speedway. 1.5 mile oval. But a lot faster and a lot racier. It's going to be a polarizing track. Likely for years to come. Some people love the pack racing mentality. Others do not. Those that excelled at Talladega. Likely keen to do the same here. Qualifying almost over here. All 28 cars have set lap times. They're just waiting to see if anyone last minute joins in. So you're seeing the results on the left side of your screen. Again, Gaiman and Bren Roberts sitting at the front of the field. They'll be locked in immediately from qualifying. Then you sort everyone out based on where they qualified here. The odd number qualifiers, so Andrews, Ray, Estes, Reynolds will end up on the first heat race to determine the inside row. Second heat race are all the even number qualifiers, so Blankenship, Belleville, Reynolds, and Pinnell. All here. They'll be on the second heat race to determine who starts where on the outside row. The third heat race is the last chance qualifier. The top 6 of the first 2 heat races are locked in. Everyone else will have to race a third race to figure out where they're going to start from 15th on down. So a lot of cars will be in that race to determine where they're going to be. Really got to remember that where you start in this race isn't likely going to be the be-all, end-all. As we see 13 cars in this heat race. Alrighty. So this is what the first grid's going to look like. It's Thomas Andrews and Donald Ray on the front row of the grid for heat race number 1. Toby Estes and Tommy Reynolds are sitting in row 2. For those that are new watching this, the car numbers that are in silver and black are drivers that have already won a race this season and locked into the A-squared playoffs later in August. Those that are in red and white have not yet won a race this season, looking for their first wins to lock themselves into the A-squared playoffs. Row 3, 2 drivers that have yet to win a race this season. It's Bradley Wright and John Smeal. Seth Wansing and Tom Sears make up row number 4. Sears won at Talladega. Wansing won at Nashville recently. Both drivers looking to do well again here at another plate track in Atlanta. Tyler Patterson and Alex Shimkowski make up row 5. Row 6 is Tristan Catania and Patrick Allen. And Nick Fisher will round out the field, sitting in 13th. Good look at everything here. We do not have all the new information on Atlanta here, so we don't unfortunately have a lot. We know it's 1.5 miles in length. The track temperature is 113 degrees. It's a blistering track here in Atlanta. Air temperature is 84, and it's a humid track. It's a very sticky track. We'll see how everyone handles it today. It's going to be a fun one. Ford Mustang pace car leading the 13 cars in heat race number 1 to green. It's Andrews and Ray, Estes and Reynolds leading us to the green. No cautions in the first 2 heat races. We'll see how the melee ensues. You see the yellow, you see the white and red solid line. That is the out of bounds line. It is considered a super speedway, so that line is considered out of bounds. You cannot advance your position below that line. Through the Geico restart zone, we are racing in Atlanta for the first time out of 4 races tonight. Really good start by Estes and Andrews. Trying to get clear of Donald Ray and Tommy Reynolds. Outside lines where some drivers want to be. Donald Ray is leading it as we complete the first lap here in Atlanta. 9 laps to go in heat race number 1. A car already in the wall. That's Shimkowski. "28 cars racing for a lot on the line, 13 of which are in this heat race. Andrews, Ray still leading their respective lines as they started. Estes on the bottom, Reynolds up top. They're the second cars in line. Bradley Wright working with his teammate. It's the Bluegrass Bandits, second and third on the inside line, the 19 and the 18. They won the exhibition race for ARCS last night at Kentucky, their home track. Estes moves to the top. Wright moves to stays on the bottom. Wanzing in that 9, that white and blue Napa auto parts machine. Now third in line as Estes is forced 3 wide. He's going to get left behind. Saw Shimkowski in pit lane. His heat race already done early. The matter of when this completely explodes. Does heat race 1 explode? There's a lot of good drivers in this field. Andrews, Ray, Wright, Reynolds, Wanzing. You got Tom Sears in this heat race as well. He's holding back there in that yellow and black 213 somewhere machine. Ray leads this lap. Outside lanes where you want to be. Bradley Wright missed the bump. And there's the turn. That is Catania and Estes. And Fisher was a part of it as well. A 4 wide through the triangle, not how you wanted to be. And now Donald Ray's got the lead. Ray and Reynolds on the bottom, Wright and Wanzing up top. Patrick Allen up top as well, that 45, that Coke Zero machine. You have Thomas Anderson, the 2, the Miller Lite machine. And then you have, I believe that's Shimkowski sitting in the draft here. He is a lap down. Actually, 2 laps down. But if more accidents happen, then he gets more spots here. At least helps him out in the consolation race, the last chance qualifier. 4 laps to go in heat race number 1. Wright is now leading, Wanzing behind him. The outside lane's where you want to go, but you can't stay there for very long. Allen now in front of, I believe that's John Smeal. It is John Smeal. Ray still on the bottom, Bradley around the top side. It's a pretty even battle right now. 4 cars apiece in each line. Coming into 2 laps to go in heat race number 1. Ray leads that lap, moved to the outside lane. And there they go. There's the wreck. Ray's in it. Allen's in it. Smeal's in it. And really good avoidance by Sears and Fisher. White flag coming to the checkered flag to end heat race number 1. It's Wansing, Reynolds, and Wright, top 3. Andrews and Patterson on their own. They're safely in to the main event from here. They're sitting 4th and 5th. The battle would be between Sears and Fisher. Reynolds, Wansing, Wright. Reynolds will take the heat race number 1. He'll start 3rd in the main event. And Sears locks himself in. He'll start in the 13th spot for the main event. Alrighty, here's heat race number 2 starting grid. Jacob Blankenship and Noah Belleville on the front row for this one, as everyone begins to roll off here. Go a live look at this. Terry Gabbard and Ryan Pinnell in row number 2. Then it's Brandon Fetterplace and Jonathan Hohenbrink in row number 3. Cody Pinnell, James Kerr make up row 4. Kevin Feimster and Jeremy Breo in row 5. Then you have Joshua Garrison and Dustin Painter lining up in row 6 near the back of the field here. Matthew Bounds on his debut in the 98 car will be in the 13th position. You have the greatest view of all the calamities. He starts at the back, but how quickly does he try to make his way up? We've only got 10 laps to do something. Green flag in the air. The Geico restart zone. We're underway here in Atlanta. Really good launch by Blankenship, but is it too good of a launch? Blankenship moves the outside lane, but Gabbard on the bottom. He'll lead out of turn 3 and 4 for the first lap. A lot of interesting characters in this heat race. You have Gabbard, you have Fetterplace, you have Blankenship, Belleville, Cody Pinnell, Ryan Pinnell, Kevin Feimster, Josh Garrison, Justin Painter, James Kerr, Matthew Bounds, Jeremy Breo. There's a lot of interesting cards in this heat race. Only 6 make it into the main event from here. And that's already cars in the wall. That is Kerr and Garrison. And that was a hard hit for Garrison. 3 wide, Belleville up top. He'll still be sucked 3 wide. Now he wants to be. He got shuffled out big time. And then number 41, Taco Bell Machine. Fetterplace forced 3 wide. Cody into the bottom. Fetterplace tried to slot back in line. Didn't happen. It's going to give Blankenship the lead. Drivers are going to have to be extremely patient here in this main event. Otherwise, it will be a caution fest. You cannot win the race on lap 1. You cannot win the race on lap 50. You cannot win the race on lap 100. There's 134 laps in the main event. That's when all the points are really put on offer. You gotta suck it up and be patient with where you're at. Right now it's Garrett Blankenship leading those outside lines. Cody Pennell in that white Red Bull machine on the inside lane, that number 28. Ryan Pennell in the red number 12. Blankenship holding onto that outside line, but he doesn't have the help that he once had. Ryan Pennell got separated a little bit. Cody's going to force the 3 wide. Did not want to stay behind that 4 forever. Forces Gabbard into the middle. So now the inside line, it's got Pennell, it's got Feemster, and it's got Gabbard. It's got Painter and then Gabbard. Gabbard's still in the middle. He's trying to slot in front of, I believe that was... I want to say... That's the 98? Yeah, it is 98. 98 and 28 running the same pace game. That's going to be a nightmare. 4 to go. We've only had one significant incident, and it was for Josh Garrison, who was out of this race. Three to go. Pennell and Feemster on the inside. It is Blankenship and Ryan Pennell on the outside lane. As Feather Place tags the wall. 80 car, the Bang Energy machine in the wall. Outside line's falling apart. 2 to go. It's Pennell and Feemster top 2. Painter looking for 3rd. Then you have Matthew Downs in that number 98, the second white Red Bull machine, sitting in 4th. Terry Gabbard 5th in line. It's 3 cars on that outside, but they're getting freight trained by the 7 car front, moving on the bottom. Gabbard moves up high. He wants a better run at this. He's sitting in 5th at the moment, which is safely into the main event from here. He gives up a spot to Belleville, and the outside lane is falling apart even more. Matthew Ballins moves to the outside lane. Final lap in heat race number 2. Top 6 advance. Cody's leading. It's 3 wide. They're beating up each other. That's Belleville and Gabbard. Blankenship shuffled down. It's 3 wide almost. Blankenship might not advance. Blankenship got turned by Pennell. Belleville got it across the line. The 41 got turned after the start-finish line. It's Feemster, Pennell, Bounds, Painter, Gabbard, Belleville that make it into the main event from here. They will start in the first 7 rows on the outside lane. Blankenship on down will have to go to the last chance qualifier where their fate will be determined here. Alrighty, last chance qualifier time. This determines the field from 15th on down for the start of the main event. It's Nick Fisher on the pole. He was 7th in heat race number 1. Ryan Pennell was 7th in heat race number 2. He'll be on the outside of the front row. Toby Estes, Jacob Blankenship on row 2. Then it's John Smeal, Jonathan Hohenbrink in row number 3 for the last chance qualifier. Patrick Allen and Brandon Fetterplace will be in row 4. Donald Ray and Jeremy Breo will be in row 5. Row 6 for the last chance qualifier, it's Tristan Catania and James Kerr. And then the last row of the field, there are 2 cars in row 7 this time around. It's Alex Jimkowski and Josh Garrison making up the field there. It's almost time. All right, going through turns 3 and 4. Supporters for Noah Belleville. He made it into the main event. He will start in 14th in the main event here in less than 15 minutes, I believe. Really good start for him so far here in Atlanta. It's race 19 of 36. Last chance qualifier determined from 15th on to 28th. 14 cars determining their spot at their starting position. But for many, it's going to be a chance to figure out what works and what doesn't before the main event occurs. Green flag is in the air at 12 laps here in Atlanta. Pinnell with a really good run. Moves to the bottom, leaves Blankenship up high. It's Blankenship and Hohenbrink on the outside lane. Pinnell. I believe that's Fisher. It is Nick Fisher on his debut in the number 89 machine. Then Toby Estes on the bottom. Pinnell moves up high. Blankenship moves to the bottom. Blankenship moves to the bottom. That was a good sweep underneath to go for the race lead here. It's the last chance qualifier. So the best you can start here, and that's Fetter Place. That's a huge crash. Breo, Fetter Place, Ray's in it. James Kerr is in it, and so is Josh Garrison. Not Catania, Shimkowski got held up by it. Don't believe he was significantly involved in it. Catania, the last car in line. But remember, there are no cautions in the heat races. Only in the main event. So everyone's still racing it out. Lack of patience will be a theme of this race, I believe. And it's not going to be pretty. Eight cars left in this group. Looking at the mid-pack, front three, it's Hohenbrink, Estes, and Allen. That is a car in the wall. That's Fisher, Catania, and not Jimkowski. That was John Smeal. Now we're down to 5. Hohenbrink, Estes, Blankenship, Allen, and Ryan Pinnell, top 5 in this last chance qualifier. 6 to go. I've caught up some lap cars here, so this will kind of muddy it up a little bit. Blankenship is still leading this race. It's Blankenship and Hohenbrink on the bottom. Toby Estes using lap cars to try to get to the front. That's Breo and Kerr on the outside line in front of Estes. With that outside line, pulling some cars with it. Estes, Allen up top. Ryan Pinnell went to up top as well. Allen just tagged the wall! Huge crash for Patrick Allen. Ready to go here in Atlanta for the last chance qualifier. Blankenship leads Estes, Hunbrink, and Pinnell. Estes and Hunbrink and Pinnell all go to the outside line. Blankenship's not where you want to be. He's following 2 cars. Hunbrink up to the wall. Everyone trying to get around Blankenship. Estes and Pinnell on the bottom. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go in the last chance qualifier. Two cars together. It's Estes and Blankenship side by side. Pinnell and Hunbrink side by side. The cars in front of them are not on the lead lap. Coming to the checkered flag. The last chance qualifier will be won by Toby Estes. Estes got it by fragments of a second. Alrighty, warm-up is over. It's time for the main event. It's time to go racing. It's Josh Gaiman and Bryn Roberts on the front row. They'll lead us to the green here in Atlanta. Tommy Reynolds and Kevin Feimster will make up row number 2. It's going to be a large grid, 28 cars for tonight's event. Row 3, Bradley Wright and Cody Pennell. Then you have Seth Wanzi and Matthew Bounds in row 4. Thomas Andrews and Dustin Painter will make up row 5. They're at the end of the top 10. First cars outside the top 10 looking in, Tyler Patterson and Terry Gabbard make up row number 6. Looking further on down the order, it's Tom Sears and Noah Belleville. Toby Estes and Jacob Blankenship make up row number 8. Ryan Pennell and Jonathan Hombrick make up row 9. Row 10, it's Team Sideswipe all around. In that row, it's Alex Shimkowski in 19th, Jimmy Breo in 20th. James Kerr and Brandon Fetterplace in row 11, 21st and 22nd on the grid. Patrick Allen is on the outside of Nick Fisher for row 12. The last two rows of the grid, it's Tristan Catania and John Smeal, and Donald Ray and Josh Garrison have the most work to do to get up from the back of the field. They're on the last row, row 14. 134 laps in this main event of the evening. 3 stages are anticipated for this race. Stage 1 ends on lap 35. Stage 2 ends on lap 70. So 35 lap stages for stage 1 and 2, and then the second half of the race all under one stage. 28 cars. Gonna be a lot of calamity. Matter of when the first caution happens, not if. So let's go at it. Josh Gaiman, Bryn Roberts on the front row. Reynolds and Feimster behind them. This is gonna be wild. So get ready to go racing. 28 cars. A beautiful sight. Beautiful for how much longer before it turns into a nightmare for some. The Atlanta 200, race 19 of the 2022 Darkside Mustangs A-Squared Cup Series is underway. We're racing at Atlanta. And it's a really good start by Bryn Roberts on the outside lane, but the rest of the outside lane was sleeping. So he will not have a lot of help. Bradley Wright actually moves to the outside to help him. Abandons the bottom lane. Reynolds will abandon it as well. Gaiman now on his own in the 61. He will not jump up top to block it. He'll wait for Wanzi to come to him. Reynolds leaves the outside lane. Gaiman on the inside. Almost a 2x7 formation for the first 7 rows. Reynolds moves back to the bottom. Reynolds back to the front of the outside lane. But there's only 4 cars up there. Most cars trying to sit. Wanzi and Reynolds. That's right. That was Bradley Wright that wrecked. And the first caution of the race has come out. On lap 2. There's Wanzi in pit lane. Bradley Wright with significant damage, trying to avoid being in pit lane. Here's what happened. And there's the contact itself, but we don't know how it started. So there they are side by side. Really good snapshot there. But let's zoom it out a little bit. So I'll slow it down for you. Wanzi in the 9, Bradley Wright in the 18. I don't think Wanzi realized where Bradley Wright was. I have genuinely... That's a bizarre move by Wanzi, and both of them took hard hits to the inside wall. Because it was going to go 3 wide, and we'll back it up again here. Because But Gaiman didn't want to help Reynolds. We'll watch it form up here. We'll see if we can get a better angle. There's a good angle. So you watch here. Reynolds goes to side draft Roberts. They're the two cars in the front of the line. Gaiman sticks to the white line on the bottom. And it looks like Wanzing wants to help because Reynolds and Wanzing are teammates. They're team sideswipe teammates. So I believe they're trying to help. It just, in a three-way situation, you can't pick and choose like that. Especially when nobody, like, people were squeezing each other anyway. It was going to be a tight three-way situation anyway. But Wright was trying to follow Roberts, and Wanzing tried to move up to Reynolds and just collected Wright. Just a really awkward situation. Luckily, only those two cars involved in that accident. But the first caution comes out only on lap 2. Hopefully not a sign of things to come here. What you're seeing here, drivers choosing the lane they want to go to. It's called the choose cone rule. You have to be either on the outside or the inside by the start-finish line to determine where you're going to be starting. Roberts, Reynolds, and it looks like Gaiman all chose the outside lane. Feemster on the bottom will move up a position. Then you have Patterson on the inside of row 2, and Cody Pennell moves up to row 3. A lot of cars prefer the outside on the start. Prefer the outside in general, I believe, but the inside lane is typically the better lane to be in. It's the easier lane to build runs out of. So that's where Feemster has decided to go, and he will be at the front on this restart. Alrighty, hope you're all ready for a restart here. After the first caution of the race for Seth Wanzing and Bradley Wright. 28 cars still racing. Though Wanzing and Bradley Wright have both already used their first fast repair of the race. Their only fast repair in the race. Everyone only gets one. Now it's going to be Roberts and Feemster leading the field to green. Roberts, Feemster, Reynolds, Patterson, Gaiman, Pennell, Sears, Estes, Rimkowski, Pennell. Both Pennells in the top 10. Then it's Better Place and Breo, top 12. Roberts with a really good jump. Almost a devil's restart there. Talked about it at Talladega. You don't want too much of a run because then you'll get absolutely freight trained when the field gets back to you, and that's about to be what happens here, I think, to Brent Roberts. Reynolds is not going to want to sit forever. Roberts preemptively blocked the outside lane. That was not the right thing to do, as it just gave Reynolds and Feemster the bottom, and both of them are going to go through. Roberts had to wait for Gaiman to get to him. That was a car in the wall, and I believe that was Fisher. It was Nick Fisher. He stays out of the way. Reynolds has dropped out. Never mind, nope, never mind. Tell me on the order, but that was just a glitch. He's still at the front. So, front side running for Tommy Reynolds and Kevin Feemster. That's too wide behind them for about 6 rows. Brent Roberts alongside the 28 of Cody Pennell. Nobody's super interested in sitting and waiting here. Roberts moving to the bottom. He wants to lead the race. Outside lane gunning for it. All three are former race winners this season. Reynolds, Gaiman, and Estes. Outside lane is moving here at Atlanta. All 28 cars still running here. Actually, is Fisher out of this race? No, he's not out of this race. I was about to be worried a little bit. Nope, all 28 cars still running. Fisher is, however, extremely off pace because of hitting that wall earlier on. Inside line, trying to move a little bit. It's Fetter Place and Roberts on the inside, the 80 and the 58. It's Reynolds and Gaiman, Estes and Breo, top side, first four cars. Feimster and Cody Pennell inside make up the first four cars in the inside lane. Reynolds still leading, but now he's got to try to work on both lanes. He's not going to be able to defend both lanes for long. Better place to the front, and Reynolds now 3 wide. No one wanted to work with him after that. This could be a disaster. He's just got to hold it steady and wait for Patterson to get by him. Patterson or Pennell. He's sitting in between them. Better place to the front. Reynolds drops to the bottom behind Pennell. He's between Pennell and Blanchett. Patrick Allen, the black number 45, having trouble holding a line here early on. Better place in Roberts. They got themselves to the front. Now they're blocking both the main lanes. Two wide, 7 rows. To finish lap 13. Could have called this race the lack of patience 200. There is a significant gap between this pack and the second pack that is sitting and forming. They are deliberately holding back a little bit here. This is a single file line. Beginning with the 20 of Jonathan Homebrink, this is in 20th place. 8 cars are in this group here. Sort of just sitting and waiting it out. They do not want to use up fast repairs. They're not sitting here too awful long. Homebrink, Ray, Painter, Wright, Wanzing, Catania, Belleville, Gabbard are all in this lane. It's a safe lane to be in. They're not worried about stage points. Most of them are pretty well set points-wise this season. So they're not worried about what's going on up front at the moment. They're trying to save their stuff for later in this race. The first stage right now being battled for by 19 people battling for 10 spots that give stage points. For those sitting 20th to 27th, they're in a good spot at the moment. For Wanzing and for Wright, it's a bit more of a necessity. They've already used their fast repair in this race from the first caution on lap 2. So they don't have any other resets that they can use. If they get involved in another accident, it's pretty much game over for them. You know, for Wanzing, he's already got a race win. He's already locked to the playoffs. Briley Wright's not. So you've got to save your stuff for the last 20 laps, really, to try to make something happen. I'd say really on like the last 10. I would not start getting involved in like the last 10 laps. So what they're doing right now is what I think is a stroke of genius. So those cars 20th on down. Well done. We'll do it. Better place in Roberts. Still battling it out, leading the inside and outside lanes. Better place in the 80, Roberts in the 58. Roberts made his debut at Road America last week. Better place before that. Got Kevin Feimster in the 1 car, sitting on the bottom. Better place trying to block both lanes here, doing a pretty good job of it so far. Better Place has found a bit of a rhythm in terms of trying to hold on to that race lead. He's led multiple laps in a row now. Of the first 19 laps, he's led 8 of them. Better Place stays up top. Keeps hold of Roberts. He'll fade to the bottom here while Feimster's not at his quarter panel yet. make sure that the runs don't generate while he's unaware. So Fetter Place leads that lap, make it 9 laps led for Fetter Place in the number 80. Roberts in the 58, Gaiman in the 61. Side by side they go. Roberts trying to lead this lap. He will do so. New race leader Ben Roberts in the 58. Podium finisher at Long Beach for the Indy ARC Series back in April. Made his debut last week at Road America. Doing a really good job right now, sitting at the front. Kevin Feimster in the 1 car, sitting in the inside line behind the 80 at Fetter Place. Cody Pennell's moved to the top line in that white number 28 Red Bull machine. There's 2 of which in the field. Matthew Bounds sitting down in the 21st position, 22nd position now. So neither of them close to each other, so the car right on our screen is Pennell. The 2898, making it difficult for me. Roberts and Fetter Place still going. 3 wide now, Roberts in the middle. And keep an eye on that fluorescent yellow, number 14, Tom Sears. Very proficient super speedway racer, won at Talladega a few weeks ago. Up to the top 5 for the Massachusetts man. As Roberts now sits down in the 11th place, outside the top 10 altogether. Stage 1 ends on lap 35, so we've still got quite a few laps until the end of stage 1. There's 2 distinct groups in this field. There's the first line of cars, which is this group here, as that is Gaiman that's touched the wall. He'll stay out of the way, and he'll drop backwards here. Smart move for Gaiman. He's just going to drop to the back here. Getting a little bit too racy for him. Don't blame him. At the front of the field, Fetter Place and Feimster at the front. Now it looks like there's a secondary pack. It is a secondary pack because that secondary line's caught up now. So now all of the most of the cars here, 24 of which, actually no, everyone is here. Everyone except for Nick Fisher. Fisher is right here, all by himself with 11 laps to go, trying to stay on the lead lap here, or hope for a yellow before the stage break. Because here's the leaders. Oh, they're gonna catch him. It's gonna be a disaster when they catch him. Feimster dropping backwards out of the top 10. That's Breo in the middle, but he's got help from Jimkowski, Team Sideswipe teammate 74.99. Feimster not going to get that help. Gaiman behind them in that blue and yellow Ukraine-colored 61 car. Sitting right in line behind Jacob Blankenship on the bottom. This is the battle for 9th place on down, beginning with Breo in that 74. Better Place in the 80, now under attack from Sears in the 14. Ryan Pennell behind him. New race leader out of turn 1 will be Tom Sears. Better Place driving back. It's single file for the first 7 cars. So Better Place has quite a way to drop. Pennell went to the outside lane. I don't think he intended to, but a little bit of cannibalization for the Team Sideswipe drivers. Cody, Ryan Pennell, and Tommy Reynolds all part of the same team. Second, third, and fourth. Not helping each other out really right now. And then you have Jeremy Breo in that 74. 4 Team Sideswipe cars in the top 10. But it's Tom Sears leading this race right now. Coming to lap 29. Sears, Reynolds, Cody Pennell, Toby Estes to the outside lane. And the 19 on a run. Team Sideswipe, second, third, and fourth on the inside lane. Ryan Pinnell in the 12 on the outside lane behind Toby Estes. Sears trying to hold on for the stage win. 7 laps to go, coming to 6 to go in the stage. 6 to go this time for stage 1. Team Sideswipe moved to the outside lane, left Tom Sears high and dry. Teamwork there. Top 3 cars in the outside lane. It's Reynolds, Cody Pinnell, and Jeremy Breo. Tom Sears, no help. His teammates further back. Estes will move up top side as well. There's Thomas Andrews. There's the Team Outlaw teammate right there. Number 2 car on the bottom. So now Toby's on his own. Andrews let him slot in. Fisher moved to the inside lane, moved to the apron, out of the way. Very good choice by Fisher. He's the only car a lap down. He'll get his lap back when the stage yellow is thrown. Sears battling with Breo. Sears in third. Not over just yet. 4 to go in stage 1. Sears doing a good job. Holding on to that top 3. That was almost disaster. Still could be a disaster. That's Fetter Place. And there's trouble. Fetter Place's turn. 4 wide situation. Yellow's got to come out. There's the yellow, and there's more accidents there. And that was... And they're still wrecking. Patterson was in it. Better place, big time in it. And Garrison at the toe back. Patterson's still struggling to get going here. He's got to get going before he gets lapped. He's going to get lapped here. Yep. This is trouble for Patterson. And yeah, he had the toe. So what happened here? Probably start where a little bit earlier on in this replay. So we'll actually go back to here's how it all started, and this is why it looks so disastrous. Back it up for you. Because we're coming to the end of stage 1 here in a couple laps. So everyone's trying to make moves happen now. Garrison and Fetter Place get side by side. Good save by Garrison. Fetter Place still tries to save it. Nobody's lifting, because of course they're not. And everyone just bounces off each other. Chimkowski got a part of it. And the caution had not come out at that point. Which I think is like sort of the disappointing part here. Is that the caution was thrown so slow for a car. The caution's not out yet. Not out, not out, not out. Caution doesn't come out until after this. So pretty senseless there. See Gaiman, he got involved in it. Not sure what happened to Gaiman. Oh, he's in front of Bradley Wright. Bradley Wright did not need that. Oh boy. So this will be how stage 1 ends. So that's interesting. It's going to be Cody Pinnell and Toby Estes on the front row. Tom Sears, Tommy Reynolds in row 2. Darren Brea, Thomas Andrews, row 3. Jonathan Hohenbrink, Jacob Blanchip, row 4. Ryan Pinell, Kevin Feemster, row 5. As we get ready to go back to racing here at Atlanta at the end of stage 1. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again in Atlanta. So far, a clean start here in stage 2. It's a car on the bottom exiting pit lane. I believe that might have been Matthew Bounds. It was Matthew Bounds on the inside, letting everyone go by here. Alrighty. So racing now firmly underway here, lap 40 of 134 here in Atlanta. We're going to do something a little bit fun here. We haven't done this in a long time. We're going to do it here. We are going to crank it up here in Atlanta. Fun 10 laps there. Some crank it up. Good listen to those V8 engine sounds. Saw Tommy Reynolds make a 3-wide pass for the lead. Shot the gap between Cody Pennell and Toby Estes. And has held on to the lead ever since. Stage 2 ends on lap 70, so 20 laps to go here at the line until the end of stage number 2. Reynolds doing a really good job so far. He's got a teammate behind him, Cody Pennell, and Tom Sears sitting firmly in 3rd place ahead of Jacob Blankenship and Jonathan Homebrink, rounding out the top 5. Everyone really slightly down here for stage 2. See how much single file there is here. There's 3 cars in the outside lane, and really the first 14 cars, 11 of them are single file. A really good change of pace here. Really helping click off the laps here, knowing that the 3rd stage is half the race. No reason to really do anything here in stage 2. I'm sure it's going to go nuts here in stage 3. Or at the end of stage 2 here, in like the last, nice like 10 laps, I think. But right now, everyone's sort of sitting steady here. As it currently stands, 22 drivers on the lead lap. That caution at the end of stage 1 took a lot of drivers out of contention here. Bradley Wright, he's had an incident here in stage 2. He's in pit lane. His race might be officially done. Tyler Patterson, he is 3 laps down. Joshua Garrison's not on the lead lap. He is also 3 laps down. 3 laps down for Terry Gabbard. 1 lap down for both James Kerr and Matthew Bounds. As Josh Garrison on the bottom. He is back on track. Actually, I believe he just went 2 laps down. Excuse me, just went 3 laps down. He was just getting out of the way. So, good on him. As we approach lap 60. Now it's starting to get a little bit racy. Reynolds getting shuffled back big time. No one wants to help him now. Cody Pennell and Tom Sears now 1-2. It's Pennell and Sears now cut up by Blankenship here. Less than 10 to go until the end of stage 2. Breo sits 4th. He's battling for 4th with Josh Gaiman. See, there's Breo and Gaiman side by side, battling for 4th place. 1, 2, 3. Pennell, Sears, Blankenship. Going to 5 to go at the end of stage 2. Seeing who's going to make moves here. Gabbard 2 laps down. He's not in the conversation. Now number 4 machine. Trying to stay out of the way here. Bradley Wright's race officially done after 50 laps. He made it 50 laps before calling it over. So the first timer of the race, the number 18 of Bradley Wright. And so you get closer and closer to lap 70. It's Pennell, Breo, Gaiman top 3, Blankenship 4th, Tommy Reynolds in 5th. All 5 have won a race this season. Ready to go. A little bit of a bad bump between Homebrake and Gabbard. Two to go in stage 2. Who's going to make a move and win? Blankenship wants to move. No one went with him. Sears wants to go with him, but he's too far back. Nobody wants to work with Blankenship. He'll drop backwards here. Last lap coming up in stage 2. 1 lap to go in stage 2. Pinnell, Breo, Gaiman, Reynolds, top 4. Ryan Pinnell sitting bound for 5th. Outside lanes too far back to do anything about it. Cody Pinnell will take stage 2. Pit stop's now underway in stage to get ready for stage 3. This is going to be a super long stage for everybody. So now it's about to ramp up a little bit. Get ready for the restart for stage 3 to begin. It'll be Breo and Gaiman on the front row, then Cody Pinnell and Jacob Blankenship row 2. Tom Sears, Thomas Andrews will make up row 3. Then Jimkowski, Pinnell, Feimster, and Homebrink round out the top 10 here. .21 cars on lead lap, 26 still running at a 28 started. 2 cars out of this race. Patrick Allen has joined Briley Wright in the retirement list. As they're ready to get back at it here in Atlanta. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again. Stage 3 begins here in Atlanta. First 2 laps started up pretty well. Rayo still leads from Pinnell and Tom Sears. Josh Gaiman still on the inside, battling with Jacob Blanchett. Blanchett slowly falling backwards. The inside line has a little bit more help. That's sort of the interesting dynamic we've seen at times. The outside lane is good once you have a run, but once that run stalls out, there's nothing you can do. So you're gonna see like what happened right there with Blanchett. Blanchett just had to move to the bottom. Had to wait for there to be a decent slot at the bottom because now I can make a run again. But now he's gonna have to ask himself a really interesting question. You know, we're on lap 80 of 134. When do you move up? Do you want to move up now and get in front of Andrews and the number 2 car? Or do you sit and wait a little bit? Knowing we still have over 50 laps to go. I know what I would do, but there's a reason I'm up here and not racing. Personally, I would sit and I'd wait a little bit. Blanchett did not. Blanchett moved up top when Andrews got close enough. But what that does, unfortunately, is what that does to Andrews, it kills his run. Like what it did right there, it killed his run completely. Now Blanchett, once again, has no help. He's going to just fall further back because the space that he had in front of Pinnell is gone now. Can't get that back. He's not going to get space from Belleville in that 41. Belleville's back up in the top 10, and that number 41 Taco Bell machine. Wanzi in the 9's not going to give him any space. So Blanchett literally has to sit and wait it out. Pinnell's thinking about moving up top side. but he will stay bottom. He will stay on the inside. And Blanchard just has no help. Blanchard's trying to make something happen, but you've got to time it out well. And Blanchard's already a guy that many do not want to work with here. Blanchard, the last couple races, has developed the reputation as being a little bit over-aggressive. And it's rubbed some people not so much in the best way possible. So people right now are less keen to work with him right now as a yellow has come out. I'm not sure who it's for. It looks like it is for it is for Garrison. Here's why. Oh, it was Gabbard and Garrison. And Fisher. That's an awkward crash. We didn't get to see the start of it. Oh, Fisher bumped Gabbard out of the corner. Here's what happened. Gabbard goes to the inside. Fisher tags him out of the corner. Tags him again, and that second tag is what got him. I'm not entirely sure why they were bump drafted to begin with. None of them on the lap were really competing with each other. I don't get it, but... now nobody in that group's going to get a lucky dog. So make of that what you will. So Garrison's on pit lane. His race is now officially over. Kind of not really necessary for anybody there in that group to be doing anything, but there we are. Matthew Bounds, good lucky dog. That's what he's doing right now in the number 98. So 21 cars once again on the lead lap. Tommy Reynolds not one of those cars. Not sure what happened to Tommy Reynolds, but he is now a lap down. Everyone choosing the lane they want to be in. Gateman chooses the outside lane, seeing where everyone else is going to be. So it's going to be an interesting restart here. Fourth caution of the race. Third one because of an accident. Still overall been a really clean race. We've only had 3 major incidents in this race. One on lap 2, one on lap 33, and then the one most recently on lap 84. So overall, a really clean race so far. Let's hope we can keep it that way. Hope everyone keeps their cool and keeps their heads collected here. We can get at least to the end of the race before everything kind of falls apart. to the get can restart zone. We're back underway, racing once again, and that was a really good start by the inside line. Gaiman was caught napping. Josh Gaiman just did not go. You can see Team Sideswipe trying to dominate this race. 74, 28, the 12, the 9, the 99, all in the top 10. 5 of the top 10 are the same team. We haven't seen this from them since early in the season, when everyone was still trying to learn in this new car. I believe that's Hohenbrink about to go a lap down. It is Hohenbrink. He's going to stay top side so everyone can go by him. I'm not sure why Hohenbrink went a lap down. He doesn't seem to be damaged. But it did check everyone up that wasn't single file. So now it's going to get interesting. Watching the second group, everyone's gotten back up here. Still led by Breo at the front. Quick Pinnell second, Tom Sears third. Ryan Pinnell sitting in fourth place at the moment. And it's Gaiman in fifth. And Seth Wanzing sitting in sixth place now. First car on the outside, that Interstate Batteries number 20. Jonathan Hohenbrink is the first car one lap down. He's trying to stay that way. He has got to deal with Tommy Reynolds. And that was almost trouble. Saw in the very corner of my eye there, that was Hohenbrink squeezing off Blankenship and Feimster. Two cars racing for the lucky dog position. Hohenbrink's got that position at the moment. racing is really sort of amped up here. Everyone trying to make something happen, but it's in it's a much more precise manner now. As we sit here and watch most of the field together, you have to look down several spots. So Zinkowski sitting 12th, 13th is Roberts, Catania is 15th. You have to look back to John Smeal. You're looking at Smeal, you're looking at Bounds, you're looking at Painter even further behind. Everyone's here sort of lurking and waiting. At the front of the field, though, it is still Breo and Cody Pennell, 1-2 for Team Sideswipe. It's been interesting seeing who's working with who, because obviously the team dynamic we saw at Talladega, it's once again at the front and center here with Breo and Pennell Team Sideswipe, Ryan Pennell's Team Sideswipe. So 3 of the top 5 in the same team. Wanzing's Team Sideswipe as well. But it's really interesting seeing how everyone's really adapting, because Sears is the only Team Outlaw driver up here that's been up here most of the race. Painter, Donald Ray, they haven't been in this conversation for much of the race. Like, you'd have to look. Feemster would be the only other Team Outlaw guy that's been consistently in the top 10. But Feemster is not even close. Feemster's a 9th. And they've not hardly worked together all this race. So that's really an interesting dynamic that we're seeing here, is that Team Sideswipe very much working together here. Not so much of a work together for everyone. Team Outlaw, Prophecy Racing, Bluegrass Bandits haven't been super close together all race. Obviously, Patterson's a lap more, it's off the lead lap, and Estes is on his own. Bradley Wright's out of the race. It's like, yeah, you get it. But it's interesting seeing who's making friends and when in this race. Single file, at least the first 7 or 8 cars. Everyone's sitting and waiting for the last 20 laps. Willing to bet the farm on that one. Your friends are who you make them up until about 10 laps to go. And then, friends, you don't need friends. From lap 124 on to the end of the race, you have acquaintances at best. That is reality in these plate races. 25 cars still running. 3 cars are out. 20 of the 25 still running are on the lead lap. Tommy Reynolds, the first car a lap down in that lucky dog position. Approaching lap 110 here at Atlanta. 25 laps to go. Stage 3 has been pretty easy for Jeremy Breo, but easy for how much longer? He leads his teammate Cody Pennell. 7 of the top 10 have won a race so far this season. Ryan Pennell, Brandon Fetterplace, and Bren Roberts have not. And of those 3 that have not won a race, Pennell's the only one that's done more than 3 races. So Ryan would really love to have a race win, and he's sitting in a really good spot, sitting 4th at the moment. That was Nick Fisher that everyone's trying to get out of the way of. He will go another lap down. Donald Ray has hit pit lane. I do wonder if everyone's good to go to the end of the race on fuel, because nobody really pit. Most of the field did not pit, and has not pit since the beginning of stage 3, which would have been, and that's everyone coming in. That was what I was wondering. Wanzing missed it. Wanzing missed it big time. How did he still make it in? That's wild. So yeah, pit stops, that did happen. I just happened to see Don Ray exit pit lane. Like, wonder what the fuel situation's looking like. Now we know. Belleville, Fetterplace, Painter, Andrews, Kerr, and Smeal still out. Fetterplace comes in here. So Belleville now leads. This actually could work out pretty well for Homebrink in the 20 car. Homebrink pit on lap 87. So he had a good 18 lap advantage on fuel right now compared to everyone else. So I don't think he can make it to the end, but if a caution comes out, he is one lucky camper. He is the first car a lap down. Everyone's still on track at the moment, have pit either on lap 86 or lap 87. So they still have a while until they have to pit. So now it is extremely imperative to everyone in this conversation right now to not wreck. It is of the utmost importance that you do not crash now, otherwise you'll put yourself behind the 8 ball to really 5 cars, is what it is. So Belleville leads. He's got help from Terry Goward, teammates here at Prophecy Racing. They are working together here. That's pretty cool. They're behind Tyler Patterson, who's the Bluegrass Bandits driver. And in front of Jonathan Homebrink, who is for Team Outlaw. These four are working together a little bit, whether they want to or not. They're working together. And hoping for a yellow. Thing is, that green flag pit stop severely separated this field out. Like, there are not a ton of people that it's really close together. Wanzing lost a lot of time. Jimkowski sitting behind Reynolds. Oh, crash on pit lane. That's Kerr, that's Andrews. Painter missed pit lane completely. That is bad luck there. And that is their race pretty much over there. Trying on Andrews there. We're in the last 12 laps in this race. Oh, watch out, Pinnell! Pinnell's crashed! And the yellow's out. And that just bailed out Noah Belleville. Wow. That was Patterson and Pinnell that got together. Here's what happened. Pinnell trying to follow Tom Sears. Pinnell thinks he's clear of Patterson. And almost, but not quite. And Patterson just wasn't lifting. And it just sent Pinnell around in front of the leaders. And that's an instant yellow there. It doesn't matter who it is. If you spin in front of the leader like that, it's a yellow. So Belleville gets bailed out here because he only let 4 cars by before the yellow came out. So Breo, Cody Pinnell, Joshua Gaiman, and Tom Sears will get ahead of him here, but he'll restart 5th, which is really, really, really important. And a lot of cars here are going to get a waiver out. Homebrink, I believe, he's the lucky dog. He is lucky dog, yeah. So Homebrink also gets to pit here. Really good move by Hohenbrink. Stay out and stay at it. So, good gains for the 41 and the 20 on that cycle. Put them in really good contention now to possibly win this race. Alrighty. Gonna be a lot of cars in the inside lane because everyone got wave arounds. But it's gonna be an interesting one. So 15 cars on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again. 6 laps to go here in Atlanta. It's Breo, Pinnell, Sears, and that's going to be how they line up here. Sears quick to the bottom in front of Gaiman. And it left, I believe, that was James Kerr that got thrown out. Kerr, not on lead lap. Not sure why he started where he did. 5 to go. This could get pretty crazy. Whoever comes up to step up to the plate has to take on Team Sideswipe as they sit 1-2 at the moment. 4 to go. It's Jeremy Brayo, Cody Pennell, Tom Sears, Joshua Gaiman, Toby Estes, top 5 have all run a race this season. Brendan Roberts, one of the newer drivers in the series, a long-time Indy ARCS driver, dating all the way back to the beginning of the season. In his second race here in the A-Squared Cup Series. Noah Belleville, Kevin Feemster, trying to make a run. 3 laps to go at the line. There's an outside lane beginning to emerge. Toby Estes is leading that. Noah Belleville's in it as well. Does anyone want to help that outside line? Top 2 trying to break away. We're about to see a tandem race finish here. Outside lane is moving. It's Estes and Belleville, upside lane. Does Sears join it? Does Gaiman join it? They're tempted. Gaiman does join. 61 wants to go to the front now. 2 to go. Does Sears go top side? There's a crash! And the yellow comes out. And we're going to have a green-white checkered attempt at a finish. We're going to have an overtime finish here, boys. That was a hard crash coming to the start-finish line. For the white flag. We will re-rack them and do it again. Looks like Dustin Painter, Toby Estes, Ryan Pennell all involved in that accident. So rack them up, do it again. And I have no doubt in my mind that Jeremy Brayo and Cody Pennell will line up on the inside of this finish too. And here's what happened. Look out for Estes in the 19, the black and the matte black with the metallic blue number, the number 19 on the top lane. Dustin Painter, the Liberty University number 65 on the bottom lane, that red, white, and blue machine. Behind the black car at James Kerr. So this is a really good angle. So we're going to go here. Back it up a little bit for you. We're going to go slow motion here. So you have Gaiman, the outside lane's not working, right? Belleville pushes the pusher. That had nothing to do with Painter at all. Belleville just pushed the pusher. Kerr got a piece of it as well because he got tagged by Estes when he moved down. So the caution comes out here. And then Pennell gets taken out by Patterson here. Why does Patterson take out Pennell? Oh, Pennell checked up for the accident. And Patterson didn't. And then Patterson got run over too. So insult to injury there for the 12. Alrighty, getting ready for an overtime finish. A first attempt here. We have 3 attempts at overtime finishes to try to get this race to end under green. It's Brayo, Sears, Pennell, Gaiman, Belleville, Jemkowski, Roberts, Honebrink, Feemster, Wanzing, top 10. There's some lap cars in this mess as well. We're looking at Actually, no, I think they've been sorted out here. Never mind. My bad. They've been sorted out here. There's 16 cars on the lead lap. Tommy Reynolds got the lucky dog that time by. He'll start 16th at the tail end of the line. But another yellow, and he's right back in it. So Team Sideswipe first and third. They're on the inside. Belleville's in fifth. Sears on the outside. Needs help from Gaiman to get to the race win here. This is where things could get pretty rowdy. Alrighty. It's gonna be showtime here. Overtime finish here in Atlanta. Pace car pulls in, approaching the Geico restart zone. In the restart zone. And here we go. Sears didn't get the launch. Green flag back in the air. Not a great restart by Sears. Top four now on the inside and clear. Roberts immediately moves to the outside lane. Who goes with them? Nobody of importance at the front five. Jimkowski has moved up there with him. He's going to try to get to Roberts' bumper. But coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go here in Atlanta. Can anyone stop Jeremy Breo? Gonna be tough. Roberts getting closer. Pinnell. Pinnell's had trouble. Breo's on his own. He's a sitting duck. This could be a disaster. Roberts on the outside looking for it. Bellevue almost gets turned. Side drop down to 4. Brett puts Roberts in the wall. Bro, no! Jonathan Homebrink has won this race. Holy cow. Him and Alex Jimkowski, basically the only 2 cars that made it across the line before wrecking. Homebrink, a race winner for Team Outlaw. Wow. Spent most of the race off the lead lap. And it all came together in the final 20 laps. You are gonna be kidding me. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. We'll take a look at that finish again before we interview the podium interviewers here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's wild. This is coming to the finish. Belleville almost got turned by Sears. A hard hit by Wanzing. And there's very little cars that didn't make it. They didn't get junked here. Now the important thing, so it starts off with Breo putting Roberts, well, I say put Roberts in the wall. It looks a little bit different from this angle here. Because initially I thought, oh god, Breo's just chop blocked Roberts. Don't think that's actually the case. Because Roberts is there, and Roberts pulls the air off of Breo's car. So I believe Netcode may have pulled Breo into Roberts there. They were trying to side drift each other super hard. Homebrink cuts dead left to avoid hitting Breo and Roberts and tags Wanzing, coming right to the finish line. Homebrink does a really good job saving it on his own. Simkowski and Sears and the melee behind them. Absolute insanity. You see Gaiman's in that. There's very little people that aren't in that accident. A lot of torn up race cars at the end here in Atlanta. See if we can watch it in real time, because it is a thing of beauty. Back it up a little bit. We'll see we'll see the entire final lap because it really uncorked you on the final lap here. We'll do it from the scenic cams, the static cams. Cody Pinnell ran out of fuel. That's what happened to Cody in the 28. That was wild. That was absolutely wild. Holy cow. Alrighty, so we have some podium interviews to do here. Trying to compose myself because that was wild. That was a finish. We're gonna start with Tom Sears, our third place finisher here. We'll go down all the way through. Tom, this is Clayton from the Arcs Racing booth. You got a copy.
Hey, how you doing?
My heart rate is kind of still spiked a little bit from that finish. All of it really kind of happened around you and behind you. A P3, you didn't really get a lot of help on that last restart, but getting that third place, watching everything happening around you, what's that like?
I tell you what, man. First of all, thank you for the stream, Clayton. Very much appreciate these streams you've been doing here on Sunday. Congrats to John on getting locked into the playoffs. He's been dying to get a win, so really cool to see my teammate get himself a W. Yeah. As for the end there, holy smokes, man. I mean, I didn't think I was really in a position to win it because there was a lot of teammates that weren't my teammates that were up there, and I knew there would just be a hard time really getting any help. So I was just trying to see what would happen and get a good finish, and everyone exploded. So that was able to give us P3. Otherwise, we're going to finish probably in the bottom half of the top 10 there. But, yeah, everyone just went absolutely bonkers and able to avoid the tidal wave of cars that pretty much went over the back end of my car and come home P3. That was just pretty much luck at the end. Yep.
Luck. It was absolute insanity watching everything because you were in contention most of the race. Like I mentioned it during the race. Like it seemed like the team was kind of all over the place. You had Painter, you had Race sort of sitting in the back trying to avoid all the carnage, whereas you and Feemster were kind of always in the mix. And then Jonathan, he ended up going a lap down for I don't remember what kind of issue he had, but he ended up going a lap down, and it really all came together for him in the last 20 laps there. The first time on this new configuration of Atlanta, it's a polarizing track. Having done now a full race on it, obviously we've done Friday night in the Gen 6s, but now having done a next gen race here in A Squared here at Atlanta, what are your opinions on this new track? Is it obviously I think a lot of people are going to prefer the older generation, the bumpier track, but with the racing that we had tonight, which I thought was a lot cleaner than what I think a lot of people were expecting it to be. Has your opinion changed of this track, or has it really added something different to the schedule?
I mean, I guess my opinion is kind of It was a lot cleaner than I expected. I imagine it must have looked like some pretty good racing on the stream. I mean, we were side by side for a long time there. We went the whole second stage, no caution. I mean, I guess it's a race, and we do the race. I don't know. I personally would have kept the old configuration, but I'm not NASCAR. I'm just Tom. So we go. It's on the schedule. We race it. Hopefully, we get a top 5. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It is what it is. I guess it's Daytona but smaller. Yep.
Well. You don't have to deal. Speaking of Daytona, we get to go there in a few weeks, but next week is New Hampshire, and people are equally polarized on that track. Either you love it or you hate it. Looking at New Hampshire, that's the closest thing to a home track for you, I think, that we have on the calendar. Going to New Hampshire next week, what are your hopes? What are you thinking next week's going to sort of be like for you going into the Magic Mile.
Due to NASCAR real life start times, I doubt I will make the A Square New Hampshire because I'm going. Bringing
There
my
you go.
brother to his bringing my brother to his first race ever. Hopefully, obviously I wish I could bring him to something like Daytona or Talladega, but this is right in our backyard, so I really doubt that you'll see me on track for New Hampshire. But we'll try to get home at a legal speed and see if we can make it in time. We're not gonna drive 100 miles an hour to try and make the race, but I doubt we make it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it's a good thing. I kind of wondered if you were going to be there because with New Hampshire being as close as it is, I kind of wondered. But if we don't see you next week, have fun in Loudon. But congrats on the P3, Tom. A crazy, crazy race, but you were up there the entire time working against Team Sideswipe all race long. Before I let you go, you know the drill between IndyArcs and here. We've done this a whole bunch of times. If you have anyone you want to shout out, I know that Team Outlaw was there, and teamwork was definitely the name of the game today, depending on when you saw it. If there's anyone you want to shout out and you want to say thank you to, the floor is yours, man. Congrats on another podium.
Yeah, first I want to say shout out to 213 Simware. I was up there with my buddy Josh. He's not a teammate, but he has same sponsor as me, so it was cool running up there with him for a bit. Shout out to my fiance. We just went to the Bronx Zoo yesterday. That was pretty cool. Got to see some giraffes and flamingos and zebras. That was pretty fun. Shout out to, again, John with his first win of the season here getting locked in. And shout out to you for doing these streams. That's it for me.
I appreciate it, Tom. Again, congrats on a wild podium finish here. Obviously, we get to see you on Wednesday night when you do IndyArcs at Montreal. Always fun seeing how you put these podium finishes together. Captain Consistency. You're not lurking anymore. You're Captain Consistency to me. So congrats on another podium.
Yep. All right, man. We'll catch you on the flip side.
See you later, Tom. Have a good night.
See ya, buddy.
That was Tom Sears, our third place finisher here at Atlanta. Next up will be Alex Jimkowski here, second place finisher here at Atlanta. Give us a second to get all that squared away. Alex, this is Clayton from the Arcs Racing booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Alrighty, that was a wild one. You kind of sat back a decent part of that race. Major moves when you needed to. Second place finish with everything that happened. Just how do you describe that race at all?
I don't even know where to start. So I didn't get home until pretty much right before the race, so I didn't have any practice laps in it. But I figured it's basically super speedway-esque. Just there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You get runs and there's just nowhere to go. So it's kind of a patience. And then the pit strategy. There was a wreck ahead of me on that green flag stop, and I screwed up entering, tagged the wall. So I just used my fast repair just to be safe, but at that point we were left out to dry. So I was happy to get that first caution, at least get tucked back up. And then, that last restart for that green-white checkered, I don't know if Gaiman jumped it early or spun tires or what, but we kind of got left out a little bit. And fast forward to that last lap, and honestly, I think it's a totally different race if Cody didn't run out of gas there. So
yeah.
That kind of held that bottom line, and that's what took us 3 wide, I think, entering 3. And then between me, Lurkin, and Seth, we basically were just 3 wide, holding on for dear life. And I honestly, when I saw Jonathan tag Seth there, I thought because he got a little sideways, and I was like, oh, sweet, this is it. And then he kept going straight. So, awesome win on him, to come back. He was kind of lurking in the back with me too there, and I think he actually ended up a lap down at some point. So
Yeah.
Good win on his part there. But yeah, it was fun. It was intense. I'm good if we never do this again though.
Yeah, I asked Tom, and Tom said about the same thing. Like he preferred the oil land of this one. Obviously, your schedule with how you travel and how you work all the time. Not sure if you're going to be here for New Hampshire or not.
I will not.
But being able to kind of jump in your last notice, you said that, kind of just play track, you use your play track mentality there. it was a lot cleaner race. Were you expecting the race to sort of go as it did, or were you expecting a little bit more chaos throughout the race today?
Honestly, I thought we were gonna have more cautions. I think everyone kind of anticipated that. Um, and for the most part, we were pretty much clean, that whole
Yeah.
race until the end of the race. There, we had a couple yellows, but I definitely think people thought we were gonna have more. I definitely did, and that's kind of where I didn't mind necessarily being in the back. But then once we started going, we were having green flag runs. I didn't want to be in the back anymore because, like I said, there's just you get these insane runs, you just got nowhere to put it. I felt like I was on older tires. I was able to pick off cars here and there, but you got to get to the single file portion of the race then, and towards the end there, even on old tires, obviously everyone was still 2x2x2, so it's not going to really help too much at that point. But I mean, it worked out the way it did. I could have easily been involved in that and turned and not even be sitting here talking to you. So I think just kind of like a Daytona and Talladega mentality, luck is a huge factor in races like these. Mixed with smart decisions and consistency still, but it's definitely luck is something you need on your side for stuff like this.
Well, Al, you were there when you needed to be there, and obviously you kept it clean. I don't think I said your name probably 5 times all race because you were just kind of sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, and it paid off there. Obviously not the result Team Sideswipe wanted. They dominated the race, especially that third stanza there. But congrats again on the podium, survival of the fittest, and you were definitely up there. It would definitely easily could end up being you at the top step had Seth and Honebrink's contact gone differently too. But is there anyone you want to shout out, man? It's fun seeing you here. It's great being able to sort of just talk to you and watch you sort of put some magic at work there. So if there's anyone to shout out or anyone want to say thank you to, a giant team effort for Team Sideswipe, and you're the highest finishing of that team. So the floor is yours, man. Congrats on the second place.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this, even though it's a second place, still shout out to Sideswipe. This is the first and probably only time that I think I will be in front of everyone on the team, as of late at least. But no, shout out to you for doing everything you do with ARCs, with broadcasting this stuff for us and taking the time to do that. Actually, a kid Josh I met last night at the World of Outlaws race. I don't know if he's still listening or not, but I know he tuned in and watched the whole race, and he's actually in the process of now looking for a PC, I think, and might be joining us and doing some racing with us. So,
awesome.
Shout out for him, for spending that time and watching something that he didn't need to. But no, other than that, that's it. Just shout out to everybody at ARCS. We have fun. We have our drama and our issues, don't get me wrong, but we all have a good time at the end of it, and now I think it's time to go have a beer with the boys.
Definitely well earned there. A great second place finish after a very intense race. Alex, congrats on it, and we will see you at the next race you show up to.
All right, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, take care.
That was Alex Jimkowski, second place finisher here at Atlanta. We'll talk to the race winner, and then we'll take another look at that race finish for you all. You all were just about as in awe as we were there at the end of that one. So we're going to switch over to Jonathan Honebrink. We got his card. He got his number plate changed to silver and black now that he is a race winner this season. Alrighty, time to pull him in to the driver's booth. Hey, John, this is Clayton from the RX Racing booth. You got a copy?
Copy, Clayton. How's it going?
I'm assuming it's a little bit better for you. You finally got that race win. Tom Sears had a lot of glowing remarks for you being able to finally break through and get that race win. It's been a long time coming. It wasn't the luckiest race you had, not even the day. You were spending a lot of the race a lap down. The last 20 laps kind of put it all together for you. Talk us through that.
Oh yeah, the last 20 laps. I went a lap down, 70 to go. I stayed out the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole green flag. That I was trying to get back on that lead lap, hoping the caution came out. Worked out to where I got the lucky dog. And I still had a set of tires left when the last caution came out there. So I had freshies, and I was able to take it 3 wide with Seth on that last lap. And then cars started spinning in front of us. I was trying to push Seth to the win, and then yeah, he slid up and went around, and I'll take it. That was awesome race, awesome win. Very excited.
Yeah, obviously, this race means a lot. Not only is it your first one of the season, you're locked to the playoffs. So late into the season, we've seen Donald Ray win. We've seen Tom Sears win. You guys have dominated the plate races this season. Patience was a big thing, especially for you. You were sitting there
Yeah.
at the end there with Moldy, with DP, with Terry Gabbard, and I think Tyler Passon was in that group as well.
Yeah.
Just we've seen and we saw it with drivers out in this race too, where drivers were just like as soon as they had an issue, it was always just that fighting to catch up. You've not been one of those drivers. Like all season long, it's just like if this race comes to me, it comes to me. What?
Sure.
What part of that mentality for you? What part of that mentality? Where does that mentality come from for you? Because it paid off big time today. In 20 laps, you went from being a lap down in 20th to winning the race. Where does that mentality come from for you? And does having a team like Team Outlaw around you help you in that way, being able to sort of walk you through it?
Oh, for sure. I definitely credit my team with this win as well. With 3 to go, they're like twisted. Or Jonathan, you can win this. So, they psyched me up, they amped me up, and I was shocked at the end there. But the patience, I'm not the fastest in ARCs. There's a lot of fast drivers in ARCs, and you have to be patient to get the wins at the end like this.
You got your first race win, and I'll have to go back and see your full results here because they don't come screen at the top of my head. Plate racing, you've still got another one before the regular season comes to an end at Daytona here.
Yeah.
But looking forward, luck's not been. You're one of those that I think I've talked about bad luck or no luck with you almost as much as I've talked about it with Briley Wright, who was also taken out of this race early on. Going to New Hampshire, you talk about you're not the fastest, but you are. I think mentally you're up there. You've got it all put together up there mentally. Being patient, all that stuff. With New Hampshire coming up as a short track. With Tom Sears not being there, it's going to kind of fall down to you, to Painter, to Donald Ray there. What are you expecting out of short track racing? Because I feel like short track racing is sort of anyone's game if you're willing to put your elbows out. Are you kind of expecting it to be one of those races where you sort of just have to sit and wait for people to make mistakes as well, like what it was tonight?
For sure. I'm like that every week. I do have very bad luck. I've gotten wrecked out of several races this season, and I've just because of that though is why I'm so patient. I've found that if I hang out, let everyone else mess up, I can just drive right on by, slow and consistently, and it pays off. It paid off today.
You're one of the guys. I think you're one of like 4 guys on my list. Like, if he gets a win at some point, it's going to be amazing. So like, absolutely fantastic to be able to see you be able to pull it off, especially in a crazy finish like that. That being said, it is almost 9:30 or whatever on the East Coast. Before I let you go, obviously you're part of Team Outlaw. Tom Sears was happy for you. I'm pretty sure your entire team was glowing for you on that one. But if there's anyone you want to shout out, man, the floor is yours. It's a well-earned race win after what has been a very tough season. You've been through a lot these first 19 races, but now you don't have to worry about it. You're locked to the playoffs. You're a race winner. Next few races, you can kind of take a deep breath here and enjoy it. Well done, man. The floor is yours.
I just need to say thank you to my team. Team Outlaw is amazing, very supportive. I didn't get a lot of practice time today. I literally just jumped in the car, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be there at the end. So, and then Seth, he was a great drafting partner all day, and like I said, I was trying to push him to the win there, and stuff happened. But yeah, no, I'm very excited about the win. I'm locked into the playoffs. Can't wait for next week.
Congrats, man. Amazing win. Happy that you're finally on that win board. Can't wait to see what you're able to pull off, especially at Daytona, Talladega, 2 races coming up. Talladega in the playoffs. Definitely can't roll out
Yes,
the number 20 now.
the plate tracks are where I'm really good at, so I'm really excited for Daytona and Talladega.
Team Outlaws won every plate race so far this year. It's hard to bet against you guys right now, so you came up with the good work, man. Congrats on the race win.
All right, thanks, Clayton.
Have a good one, man.
Yep, you too.
That was our race winner, Jonathan Hohenbrink. A well-earned win for him. He did a phenomenal job in this race. Tip of the hat to him. Unfortunate for Seth Wanting. Was leading when Breo and Roberts went to the wall. We'll watch the race finish here one more time before we send the race off. Here's what it looked like. We're going to go to the white flag lap here. And it is a beautiful finish. So here's Hohenbrink, our race winner at Atlanta. This is where he's at. White flag lap is in the air here. This is where he's at when we start the last lap. Keep it on the number 20. Cody Pennell runs out of fuel. Alex Jankowski said it there. If he had not run out of fuel, probably would have been a completely different race. But he runs out of fuel. Belleville gets pushed out of the way. Jankowski threads the middle 3 wide. A bad bump. Wanting a hard hit. And Hohenbrink wins. One of the wildest finishes we've seen all year. Just an absolute crazy run. And it's going to be a crazy one. We'll see if we can ride on board with somebody here. Here's an onboard. This is the Seth Wanzing coming to the finish. We'll take another look here from Joshua Gaiman's onboard. He ended up finishing 6th place here. Again, this is the white flag lap. This is the last lap of the race. You see Cody Pennell run out of fuel, and the chaos from there ensues. Alrighty. So, that was a good look at the finish of this race. Now we're going to talk about the race results here. Here's the race results. Jonathan Hohenbrink for Team Outlaw wins ahead of Alex Jankowski and Tom Sears. Jeremy Breo would bring the car home in 4th place. Kevin Feemstra in 5th ahead of Joshua Gaiman and Tristan Catania in 6th and 7th place. Donald Ray, Seth Wanzing, John Smeal rounds out the top 10 here at Atlanta. Outside the top 10, Brendan Roberts, Toby Estes, Tommy Reynolds, Jacob Blegachip, Noah Belleville round out the top 15. 16th, Cody Pennell out of fuel, coasted to the finish line, last car on the lead lap. Matthew Bounds and Nicholas Fisher, two of the new drivers in this field, finished 17th and 18th. Bounds 1 lap down, Fisher 2 laps down in this race. And looking at the rest of the field from 19th on down, Thomas Andrews 19th. 20th for James Kerr, 21st, Dustin Painter, Tyler Passon, 24th, Ryan Pennell in 25th place. 5 cars did not finish this race. Brandon Fetter placed in number 80, first car out of the race in 24th. Terry Gabbard in 25th. 26th, Joshua Gaiman. 27th, Patrick Allen. 28th, Bradley Wright would be how this race finishes of the 28 drivers. That was a wild, wild race. For everyone that stuck around with us all race long, we appreciate it. Next week, it is Loudon. It is New Hampshire Motor Speedway, race 20 of 26. 7 races left in the regular season, and then the 10-race playoffs begin after that. But for everyone here, for ARCS, for Darkside Mustangs, Windy Chevrolet, Midwest Barbecue, I'm Clayton Hardy. Thank you for tuning in to ARCS Racing Networks on a Sunday evening. We hope you enjoy your week. We'll see you at New Hampshire on next Sunday. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy.